Alright, so, Ascendant Alloys. Let's talk about them. How do you farm them? What's the best way to farm them? I get this all the time. Before that, just two things. First off, they're Dragon Balls, or maybe oranges, or basketballs. Those are the preferred names for these things. What they're not are grapes, or cucumbers, or, God forbid, you call these pineapples. I will slap you so hard. Oh, alright, I'm getting off track. Yeah, that second thing I mentioned, you thought I forgot? Yeah, I didn't forget. Yeah, 90% of you watching this video are not subscribed. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? Do you not want to subscribe and get plus 2 inches on your dong immediately? Air mail, pigeon carrier straight to you? No? Alright, well, I can't force you if you don't want that. Moving on. So on a real note, Ascendant Alloys, for those of you that may be new to the game or are unexperienced, are the currency that you use to level up your crafted weapons with enhanced perks. And these things are not very common in the game. They only drop from certain sources, and most of those sources are pretty jank. So today we're going to be talking about those sources and which ones are the best for you to farm out your Ascendant Alloys in before Lightfall. Let's mention the freebies first. You can buy one from Rahul every week for 400 shards, and then after that, you can walk over to Banshee next to him, and you can do the 4 daily Gunsmith bounties on each character, and then doing that for about a week, give or take. You can buy one from his rank up rewards right here. Obviously, I'm on there full, so I can't buy it. But once you get to 16, I believe, is the next rank up for this, you can buy it and then reset them and then do it again. These bounties take literally like 10 minutes total to do on all 3 characters. Just load up a Shiro Chi checkpoint, save it on all your characters, and then just do these every day for 10 minutes, and you'll get a free alloy like every week just from doing this. It's basically free. First up, we have the Leviathan, the Castellum farm, with the containment, nightmare, blah, blah, blah. So this one is by far the easiest and the most, like, chill, relaxed method of getting these Ascendant Alloys, because you just turn your brain off and you kill a bunch of Cabal ads until you get to a boss in Tier 3. However, while it is incredibly easy, it is also incredibly boring to do this over and over and over again. And on top of this, the reward chest, while nice if you're, like, collecting maybe red borders for Haunted going into Lightfall, even though you can buy them now, the drop rate for Ascendant Alloys, in my experience, is criminally low. Probably something like 10-15%, if that, on the drop rate, which is kind of fine given that, you know, it's just a public event. It's extremely easy to do, so you shouldn't have a high drop rate for alloys here anyway. So that's my take on it. It's extremely easy, and you can turn your brain off, but it's a low drop rate, so I'll leave that to you. Moving on. Next up is Ketchcrash. So this is kind of in the same boat as Containment, where you can run this activity to be stocking up on maybe some red borders that you don't have for Season of the Plunder. Maybe you need the energy in order to craft the daily one at the helm, whatever it may be. And this has the benefit, as opposed to Haunted, of getting 2 alloys to drop on the master version if you're lucky. But just like Containment, the drop rate for this is pretty low, at least in my experience. Maybe your experience is different, but for me, it's probably around somewhere like, I don't know, 20%. The reason it's just slightly better than the Haunted Containment event is because you have the chance of getting 2 to drop. But keep in mind that for that, you most likely have to get double platinum, in my experience. So you can't just go around in this activity and then kill the boss like 1, 2, 3. You actually have to kill the champions and get platinum to get the maximum, I guess, percentage for the reward. Otherwise, you're going to get like 1 platinum and then 1 bronze, and then, you know, your chances become lesser. But this one, not as brain turn-offy. You actually have to like pay attention if you're doing master, at least for the champions. So slightly better than Containment, but not that great overall. Okay, so next up is Heist Battlegrounds. So this is, again, a small upgrade from the previous one in Ketchcrash. This is very similar in the sense of you run the activity, you run it on the highest difficulty, so you're a little bit under-leveled, and you have the chance of getting up to 2 Ascendant Alloys to drop. Also, you can be farming red borders from this one. In this, it's actually better than the previous ones I mentioned, at least for red borders, because there is a perk in the helm on the exoframe that actually gives you a chance to open the Seraph chest at the end of the activity every time, and has a chance of giving you a red border that you don't already have. I personally had great luck with this. After I unlocked the perk, I got red borders all the time running this. Not everyone, obviously, but it was a pretty high chance, so at least you have the benefit of getting red borders when you do these runs, even when you don't get alloys. But again, you have a chance of getting up to 2 Ascendant Alloys in this chest. It's not a super high percentage. I don't have the exact numbers again, but you at least can get rewarded while doing this particular activity. Also, it's just fun. I think it's the best seasonal activity we had this year, personally. So that's a plus on my count. So this is where the surprise comes in. From my last time doing this video, this next activity was actually pretty garbage to me anyway, and I think Bungie at some point stealth buffed it. Maybe I missed a twab where they mentioned it and I just didn't read it, or maybe I forgot it. But anyway, Wellspring, also tying in with the final activity, which will be Witch Queen story missions, Wellspring actually has a pretty decent drop rate now. I had the worst luck in the world with this previously. When I did my glaives, the patterns, the exotic patterns, I had an alloy drop maybe like once, I don't know, 8-10 runs, something like that, just on dumb luck, and that was considered good back then. Now, recently, I saw people talking about running Wellspring for alloys, and I was like, why? It's terrible. So I ended up going in there myself, and I actually started getting good drop rates. I was getting like 2 and 3 runs, 4 and 6 runs, etc., etc. So I kept doing them just to see for math reasons. And there's also another big change for Wellspring that gives it a plus, which is you can get 2 in 1 run, just like the other activities. That previously was definitely not in Wellspring when I did that older video. So that is another positive to go in Wellspring. Now here's the thing. So Defend Wellspring is definitely much faster than Attack Wellspring. It's not like a gigantic difference, but to give you an example, Defend Wellspring is like 7 minutes, and Attack Wellspring, depending on your team, can go like 10, 12 minutes just because of the way the two activities work. Now, I mean, 12 minutes isn't the worst thing in the world, but would I rather do the 7-minute one and save 5 minutes per run? Yes, which is why I would recommend Defend Wellspring to you guys if you care like which one you're doing. Now, tying this in with the story mission, I think the story mission has a slightly higher drop rate for alloys. Not much. I'd say it's probably like, I don't know, 70 versus 80%, with 80 going for the story mission. But the problem is, for story missions, it has to be either the ghost mission or the last chance, the one where you end like in a giant tower fighting a wizard and some champions. So these 2 story missions are the fastest in the game for Witch Queen. Ghost is like 6 to 8 minutes, but you need to like actually have your brain on and zoom through the champions, use a sword to get through like the jumping puzzles, to get to the boss quicker. So it's like 6 to 8 minutes, and you have to pay a little attention. And then the other one is basically run Bonk Hammer or Hunter with 1-2 punch and do the same thing. And that mission is about like 11-12 minutes. So it's kind of like the same thing as Wellspring, where you have Defend, and it's the shorter one, which would be the Ghost story mission in this case. And then you have Attack Wellspring, which would be the other mission, which is like 12 minutes. So the only difference is you need to actually like have your brain on for running the story missions, just to maximize the speed and get it faster and get it done for a pretty high chance at an alloy. Or you can do Wellspring casually. Even on Master, it's pretty casual, if I'm being honest. And you just, find random matchmaking, a Discord community, LFG, whatever it is, and go farm Master Wellspring. The other benefit to doing Wellspring, as I mentioned previously, is red borders will drop during Master Wellspring. Either you craft those patterns out, or if you already have those weapons crafted, you can save those going into Lifefall and just chuck them in your vault. So we're just going to rank these from best to worst, I guess, in terms of efficiency. Number 1 would be the Ghost story mission / Defend Wellspring, just for time optimization. Number 2 would be Attack Wellspring / The Last Chance in the Witch Queen story mission. Then going down a notch, I would do Heist Battlegrounds for the Seraph season. Then going a notch under that, you could do Ketchcrash. And then finally, we reach the Containment Nightmare Snooze Fest for alloys from best to worst. Any of these work, whatever is your preference, solo player, LFG player, you have friends to play with, etc., how high your difficulty threshold is, and just pick one of these to farm out allies before a Lightfall. I, of course, definitely am going to recommend either Wellspring or the Ghost story mission to you if you have 2 friends to play with, and just farm those out. You have a month to go, approximately, from when this video airs, so good luck farming your Dragon Balls. I personally already finished mine, thank God, and I'm just going to be chilling, streaming random games on my Twitch until February 28th. Alright, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, or it helped you, and if it did, like, share, subscribe today. It helps the channel. Much appreciated. Hit the notification bell for more videos. Other than that, stream daily on Twitch. Link in the description below. I'm leaving now. Goodbye.